Good evening. On the behalf of ICOMOS Sri Lanka, I warmly welcome you all to this session. So, first, playing the guest speaker for today, Mr. Prasad Fonseka. Mr. Prasad Fonseka commenced his research in history and archaeology in 2005 as an independent researcher. He has published several articles on history and archaeology. And he has delivered lectures on those subjects at the Royal Aesthetic Society, Archaeological Society, Archaeological Department, ICOMOS Sri Lanka, and several other institutions on many subjects, including Brahmi inscriptions, Forte heritage, and its chronology. In 2015, the National Trust published his book titled Forte the Fortress. In 2019, he published a new edition of Oldest Chronicle of Sri Lanka, the Deepavamsa in Sinhala. The English translation and several of his other books on Brahmi of Sri Lanka are also ready for publishing. He was the editor of the felicitation volumes of two prominent scholars of Sri Lanka, Professor K.D. Paramitaran and late Professor Vinny Vidaran. The inscription of Ceylon Volume 7 and Volume 9, published by the Department of Archaeology, was finalized by him since the editor, Professor Srimal Ranavel, was critically ill. He also edited the first book of Archaeology and Architecture series by the late Dr. Roland Silva. As an activist on archaeological heritage, he has filed a case against the Archaeological Department on the destruction of Forte and was also instrumental in the declaration of the ancient Mulagiri Monastery at Sevanagar as an archaeological reserve. Mr. President of Forte Heritage Foundation and function as the Secretary of the Committee of National Trust Sri Lanka since September 2013. So I invite Mr. Fonseka to start his lecture. Yodha, some technical aspects. Thank you.
Good evening to everybody, including those on Zoom. Now my topic is about Yodha, some technical aspects or technical features. Now, some of you know these things, but I would like to just mention that this Yodha was constructed by King Dhatusena in the 5th century, and perhaps he extended some of the sections, I suppose, because as we can see, some tanks were already there before construction of this Yodha. Then this is a sustainable water management and conveyor system lasting for about 1,500 years. It conveyed water from Kalawaya to Thisavava in Anuradhapura. The length of the canal is 87 kilometers, and the distance as the crow flies is 39 kilometers. It passes through 3 river basins: Kalawaya Basin, Modaragammaru Basin, and the Mallathuve Basin. Now, this is the area of these 3 rivers, and this is an enlargement drawing of that area. And you can see in blue the Yodha. Then the elevation difference from Kalaweva to Tisaweva is 36 meters. Therefore, the average gradient is 41 centimeters per kilometer. In the first 27 kilometers, the gradient is about 10 centimeters per kilometer. And it is said that certain sections of Yodha, especially closer to Kalaweva area, the gradient was only 2 centimeters per kilometer. So how did they achieve such a low gradient? This is one of the things that we want to discuss. Then my research questions were why Yodha was not connected to any of the tanks, although it supplied water to over 300 tanks. Now this Yodha from Kalaweva to Tisaweva didn't supply water direct to any of the tanks. But under Mahavali scheme, they have connected. But before the ancient system was not a single tank was connected to the Yodha. Then why the gates to sub canals are about 2.5 to 3 feet from the bottom and why two canals were not at the bottom but little higher. Then according to folklore, the Yodha had 48 Amunugilmas and also 48 Jayakalis. Is there any truth in this? Then why the Yodha was built in the first instance? What is the reason for building the Yodha? Was it mainly for irrigation purpose? And then could the water be conveyed to Anuradhapura when the water level was less than 2.5 feet near the gates? Now I told you that near the gates, all the gates are about 2.5 feet from the bottom. So if the Yodha water level at these gates were less than 2.5 feet, what happens? Now we can imagine then what happens is the water is not distributed anywhere on the way, just it goes to direct to Anuradhapura. So that explains why the Yodha was built. Yodha was built to take water to Anuradhapura. That was the main purpose. Now this shows is going around these tanks. Now this is a tank and this is the Yodha. You can see right round this and again right round this other tank. And it is not connected during ancient times. It is not connected to the to these tanks. But now under the present Mahavali scheme, they have connected this, the present Yodha, Jayaganga, to these tanks. So there are consequences due to that. Then, as I told you, there's a thing called Amunugilma. Now, I came across this when I was studying about the defenses of Kotte in 2010. According to Rajavaliya, the main component of defense was Amunugilma. So, I wanted to find out what this was to understand the defenses of Kotte. But nobody was able to give you a correct definition. Then one day I came across a single article by one Mr. Ratna B. Ekanayaka of Veppavala. he has mentioned in that article that there were 48 Amunu Gilmers and 48 Diakalis in connected to this Yodha Island. So I contacted him, and he was very sick at that time. But he said that means the water is flowing over that. වතුර උඩින් ගලනවා. So it is really a weir in present day irrigation engineers term is for this is weir. Now weir is this: you build a bund across a stream or a river, and the water flows like this. So Kotte, what was there was this. With this, I was able to explain the defenses of Kotte. So we'll just have a look at that. Before that, the Amunu Gilmer, the functions are first, it is a bund across a river or a stream to raise the upstream water level. Therefore, it is very similar to a weir. It is not a weir, but it is very similar. It allows excess water to overflow so that the upstream water level is always at the same level. Now, this is the most important thing. When there's a weir, upstream water level is constant. It doesn't vary. With the above definition, it was possible to explain the defenses of Kotte. Why no enemy was able to enter there for 150 years. Unfortunately, the Amunu Gilma there is covered with this bar. Now you can see two rivers on both sides, and those two rivers meet at this just ahead of this, and Amunu Gilma was after that across the river. And due to that Amunu Gilma, the water level went up and the Diyavanna reservoir was formed. Now this gray area is the Diyavanna reservoir. And the Kotte landmass was like a peninsula. It was this land. And during that time, there was no rampart. Now, presently, you can see a rampart in this area. But when Kotte was built, there was no rampart in this area. Rampart was there only here. So without a rampart even, how the defenses were so strong? It is due to this mud layer. To maintain this mud layer, they had to have a constant level of water, because the water was just about, say, 10 centimeters or 5 inches above this mud layer. When the water is about 10 centimeters above this mud layer, nobody can swim across that. Then no boat can be taken. And this mud layer was about, I think, 2 meters high. Now, in Anuradhapura, also, it is the depth is about mud layer is about 2 meters is the depth. So then nobody can walk also. And there were crocodiles and various other obstacles. So therefore, nobody was able to defeat the defenses of Kotte. And the main item was the Amunu Gilma. So with that, I learned what Amunu Gilma is. And then I was not interested in Amunugilma any longer for 10 years. This is the Amunugilma, Kotte Amunugilma remains. I saw during in 2010. Unfortunately, this entire thing was the soil was removed to make that Diyavanna, present Diyavanna, and now nothing is left out. So in 2020, with COVID, I was able to do some desk research. And I thought of revisiting this Amunugilma, subject of Amunugilma. And I used Google Earth extensively. Actually, it was very extensively used to study this Yodha. And I was able to surmise a few places that could be potential sites of Amunugilma. And in 2002 January, I visited there with Professor Chandan Vitanachi. Now this is another picture that shows how the Yodha is not connected to the tanks. Now here there are 4 tanks, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth one you can hardly see. The Yodha is not connected. Now this is how it is. That Asian tank is like this and Yodha is like this. There's a common bund like that. So now you can see earlier Yodha was above this water level of these tanks. But now under Mahavali, it was connected, Yodha was connected to this. So therefore, there is a problem of certain places, there's a problem of taking this water. And I will show you how they have done that. Then again, we'll consider why Yodha was built. As I said, what I suggest is they wanted to ensure the water security of Anuradhapura city. They have made sure a water flow to Anuradhapura without any obstruction at all times. The reason I found the famines and droughts. Now, in the chronicles, they have mentioned about droughts and famines during Duttagamini, Vattagamini, Choranaga, Kunchanaga, Sangabodhi, and Upatissa. Now, this the drought and the famine during Upatissa was the worst one they have experienced, because plague also played a role at that time. And therefore, that was about several decades before Dhatusena came into the throne. Actually, after Upatissa, there's one king, Mahanama, and after him, 27 years, Sri Lanka was under occupation by invaders, and then after that, the Dhatusena came into power, and then he built this Yodha. I think the main reason was these famines and various problems. And during the reign of Kitsrimega, there was another famine in the 6th century. But the chronicles say it was not severe, perhaps due to the Yodha. Now, there are several techniques they have used in the Yodha, how Amunugilma had been used. Now, this is an Amunugilma. It is virtually it is not like this. It's a stone built one. I will show you some of those. This is a diagram, and these Amunugilmas, unlike wears, had gates. Now the gates had gates for you. They use these planks to close the gates. Now this is a groove like this. On this side also there's a groove. So they put the plank between these two walls, and then they can block the water flow. And now you can see. Now this is a gate of a sub canal. Now, as I told you, all sub canals are 2.5 feet, at least 2.5 feet above from the bottom. Therefore, under normal circumstances, the sub canal won't get water. The water level here is less than that. Therefore, sub canals won't get water. So if you put another plank here, then it rises up to that level. Then only this sub canal gets water. Now this is the most important technique they have used. And our engineers of this Mahavali project could not understand or did not do research, and therefore, it was not considered necessary. But the British engineers have certainly understood this system. I will show you how they have done that. Now I think this is clear that how the gates, how the sub canal gates were controlled with the gates of this Amunugilma. Certain Amunugilmas had gates, certain Amunugilmas didn't have gates. When there's a sub canal, they had a gate. Now this is the way they have pass-lying area. Now you can see this is the canal, Yodha canal, and this is the low-lying area. This whole area is low-lying area. So the canal can't continue. What they did was they built a bund here. On this side, they built a bund. At the end of the bund, they build a Amunugilma. Now what happens is, with this water, a tank is made here. When the tank is full, the water can pass in this area. I think you understand it. Anyway, I will explain it later. Now, this is highland area, and this is also highland. This is lowland. So they build a bund, fill this area with water until this level is equal to this level. Then they can take water crossing this low-lying area. So this they have done at several places. If you go along Yodha, you can see those places. Then there's a thing called Diakaliya. Diakaliya is the small reservoir resulted due to an Amunugilma. Each Amunugilma result in another thing called Diakaliya. It's a small reservoir. Sometimes it's like a pond. And also, as now the water level, now this water level is at that level. Therefore, you are taking water at a higher level. Now, if you just without this, you could have the water. There's a drop here, and you can't take water at this level. So they have made use of this technique to do that. Now, this is one of the Diakaliyas in Yodha. You can see this is you can't just see it's a ala or canal. It is little wider, but it is Yodha with a Diakaliya, not a true Diakaliya, because the Amunu Gilmas are no longer there. If the Amunu Gilmas were there, this would have been much bigger. Then this is how Diakalis are in the Yodha. Now the tank is here. The tank is here. The tank bund is here. Then the water releases from that. And the first Diakaliya here due to this Amunugilma. Then the second Diakaliya is here due to this Amunugilma. So actually what Yodha is not an ala. It's a collection of Diakali. Now this is the difference. Now I want engineers to explain or accept or criticize, but I think when this is adopted, the water flow is faster. Because now just say the water, say 1 cubic meter of water comes from this tank. If there's no Diakali, it has to go right this all this distance to come to this point. But if the Amunugilma is there, what happens? When 1 meter of water is put into this, that water doesn't go up to here to overflow. This starts overflowing because this is always at the overflowing level. So I think with Amunugilma, the flow is faster. Anyway, it is up to the engineers to explain it whether it is true or not. So anyway, this Yodha is really a set of Diakalis and Amunugilmas. Now, this is the first Amunugilma and Diakaliya I found. Now, this place, this is the Kala, and from the Swiss gate, about 500 meters down, you get this Amunugilma. There's no Amunugilma now. But people said there was a stone pillars here. So and when these bridges were built, those were taken, those were removed or whatever. So now actually, I think those days all the Amunugilmas were used as bridges also. And therefore, all the roads were connected to these Amunugilmas. And even now, I think the present roads were the Asian roads directed to these Amunugilmas. Now, when the new bridges were built, all these Amunugilmas were lost, and the material was lost. But fortunately, there are a few that you can see. This is one of the places. Now you can see some stones here and some stones on this side also. These are not pillars. Now, if there's a bridge, you can see pillars, but these are not pillars. On even this side, no pillars, but some stones stacked like this, and it appears that there was a bund across this, something like a weir or a Amunugilma. And actually, now the Google Earth, you have Google Street View. Now I identify this place with the use of that Google Street View. I think if you are interested in learning these things, you can Google Street View is very useful, because a lot of research can be done without going there. So I think you can now imagine how these Diakalis were. How these Amunu Gilmas were. So across this Yodha, and actually this is for the purpose of supplying water to certain tanks. I will show you that. Now that this is that Diakali, the Amunu Gilma. That Amunu Gilma that I showed you above is this, and you can see a British period sluice gate here. So British engineers really understood this system, and therefore, as these Amunu Gilmas were not functioning, they built the sluice gates, and still it is there. Then you can see this is a Google Earth picture, and you can see the gates from that. And the reason you can see from here. Now, this is a British gate. That British gate I showed you. And this is that Diakaliya. And this is, I presume, but I have not gone to this place. But you can see here an old path of a canal. I am sure this path was 2.5 feet above from the bottom. Therefore, you can't get water. When you close that, the water level goes up. Water level of this Diakali goes up, and you can get water. So during British period, up to Mahavali project, this canal would have been used. That is what I presume. But they have, under Mahavali, they have abandoned this also, this British gate also, and there's no Amunu Gilma. And now the result is they have cut a new navigation canal. And this navigation canal may be from the bottom. Now there's no problem of cutting from the bottom, because the main objective is not applicable now, taking water to Anuradhapur. Now this is that gate, the British period gate, and you can see the Diakaliya further away. This is another British period gate, and you can see, I think I have gone on only about 8 kilometers, and there itself I saw, I think at least 3-4 of these British period gates. All these gates they have used up to Mahavali period, and that proves the British engineers understood the ancient system. Now this is a place just away from the next Amunu Gilma was this. Amunu Gilma away from the, if you start from Kalavavar, this is the third one. Now they are now constructing a new bridge here, but you can see a lot of ancient stones and things like that here. I think now everything is gone by now, because I took this picture in 2022 January. Then about natural streams, if you check this, the study Google Earth, you can see very interesting things about these natural streams. Now here, there's a natural stream here. It comes like this, and then comes like this, and connects to the Yodha at this point. And then you can see the ancient path here. Ancient path of the natural stream. So about 400 meters, Yodha has taken that path of that natural stream from here to here. Now, this one is an example where it has just crossed. Now, this is a natural stream coming up from this there, and again here, then crossing Yodha like this, and there are now this tank definitely should have been there before Yodha was built, using this water of this natural stream. Now, after building the Yodha, they have taken that water to this stream, and again release some water to this this tank. But here it has just crossed the Yodha. But this is more interesting because here the Yodha has made the natural stream to go up upstream. You can see the ancient stream here, and Yodha connects it here. And then the other section of the ancient stream is this. So up to from here to here, about 350 meters, Yodha is flowing against the earlier flow of the stream. And I think you are even from Google Earth, you can study a lot of things very interesting if you start doing this. But you have to get the correct date. You know, now this particular date, the things are very clear. But when you change the dates, sometimes this is not that clear. You can't see the streams. So therefore, if you choose the correct date, you can do the study. And also, this is the new Jayaganga. And at this place, there's an aqueduct. The new Jayaganga is at a higher elevation. Therefore, there's a aqueduct or bridge-like thing. And the natural stream is flowing below that. Now, this is the place that stream is coming and connecting to this Yodha. Now, Yodha flows from here to this side. That is from right to left. And this is the ancient, this is the natural stream. In fact, we wouldn't have identified this place, not for a person there. When we when we inquired, he said there's a place that several times the bund it breached because of during floods. The breach had happened because of that reason. This is a fairly big stream, and having I think there's a upstream there are several tanks connected to this stream. So there is a fairly big one. Now you know that Yodha normally now this section, the left side, you have a bund. The right side, it's a slope of the land. That is how it is. But in this area, as this has cut through the land, it's a ditch. No bund both sides, only the land. That has through the stream. Now, this is not an ancient one. This structure may be built during British period, but they have used it as those days, and you can see how they have used the planks here. So even up to maybe 70s or 80s, they have used these planks. Now you can see how easy and very cost effective. Now normal gates or steel gates and big structure, but these are very simple structures, simple mechanics, and very low costly structures. And this is the picture again giving that groove. Then the types of Gilma, there are two types with a gate to raise the water level during normal periods. Now, during droughts, the gate is open because those days, I am talking about those days, the gates were open because they want water to Anuradhapura. So not a single gate was closed during droughts. But during the normal period, when there is water, they close gates as and when required to fill the nearby tanks. So that is type number one. Number two is to raise the water level permanently to convey water at a higher level without gates. That is a weir. Now, there are certain places that they want to take water at a higher level. So they build a Amunugilma across the Oya, Yodha, and you can convey water at a higher level. Now, this is something I observed during a drought period. This is Kong Weber. Now, Kong Weber, I think 2018 March, there's a drought you can see, and here you can see that I presume it is an Amunugilma, Asian Amunugilma. So I think somebody, maybe the irrigation engineers, if anyone is listening, can go to this place and see what it is, because it is quite. You can see across this waterway, and this is the ancient Yodha. Now ancient Yodha has come like this and then gone like this. So before, then with this, you can block the water coming to the tank. So no tank was connected, as I told you, directly to this Yodha. So I think this is the one they have built to control the water flow to this tank. And why nobody dismantled this under Mahavali? That is because, as I told you, now Yodha, the elevation of Yodha was much higher in this area. Elevation of Yodha was much higher. This Kong River was below that level, as I showed you. So therefore, to take water across this, they have to fill this Kong River up to this level, up to the level of Yodha, ancient Yodha, they have to fill the tank. Without that, they can't take water. And they have done that here. They have done that at this place. They have done a gate. Now I can show you. This is a Google Street View. This is the gate. You can see the gate here. Now, so this is the level. Now they have filled over and above the ancient Kong River. So much so that it has inundated the ancient Yodha also, Yodha. Then only you can pass this area. Now, I have noticed another thing. I showed you two tanks. The other tank also, there is a some shadow-like thing here. There's a thing like this. Same period. So I don't know whether it is Amunugilma or not. Anyway, it's worthwhile having a look because it looks like that. Because it is now this is Yodha. You can see Yodha is here. So Yodha comes like this and then diverts like this. And to control water coming to this tank, they may have built it here. So up to engineers to check whether there is a Amunugilma here. Then there's another one I observed at this now here again the same drought period. You can see a shadow-like thing here, and there's a access way, and then this is there. And from the Google Street View, now this is the access way that we saw, and now it is water is there, and therefore you can't see that. But worthwhile checking whether there is any Amunugilma there. And now all are interested to know how they build these ancient canals with low gradient. Now, certain people are having certain theories that they had a very accurate equipment and all that. But I found they have not used any equipment. They have used this Amunugilma. They appear to have used the Amunugilma technique in determining the levels. That is, this is to determine the level. When the path of a new canal was to be decided, they first cleared the area and checked the levels visually. Now, this is my hypothesis. Now, when there's a canal to be made, they first clear the area and visually check. And then they would have built banks and close the end with a dam that is similar to an Amunugilma, forming a long and narrow pond. Now this is this picture is maybe not been a very nice picture, but anyway I can explain it. Now water is coming from this direction, from the tank. Now what they did was they built this bund. Now this is the natural side of that. You have the slanted flow, and then they built this bund and crossed. Build another dam here. Now virtually they have built a small pond here. Then they fill this with water. When this is overfilling from at this end, the water level here and here is equal. So this is a way of checking the level. So they can do easily about 500 meters with this system, with this without any equipment, but just with the bund and the this dam across that to make a small pond. So I think you also can argue and see whether this is possible. So I think it is possible. Anyone can, even now we can do that without any equipment, we can do that. Then my conclusions are, the main objective of the construction of the ancient Yodha appears to be to ensure water security of the capital city Anuradhapura, not irrigation. That's a secondary thing. First thing is the water security of Anuradhapura. The other areas were supplied with water when there was sufficient water. When the Anuradhapura is satisfied, then the excess water is given to agriculture. During a drought, it only supplied water to Anuradhapura. In ancient Sri Lanka, a device known as Amunu had been used by ancient irrigation engineers to control water levels. They used it to measure the elevation differences and to raise water levels of water bodies. So they use Amunu for various purposes. The legend that Yodha had 48 Amunu appears to be correct, since about 6 such places were identified within 8 kilometers that I was walking or going across in that area. When preparing the canal in the 19th century, then the British engineers apparently studied the ancient system and built several sluice gates closer to some Amunu. That is, they reactivated the ancient system. The ancient Yodha system suffered some irreversible damage due to the Mahavali project as a result of lack of research on the ancient techniques. We unfortunately didn't do any research. We just followed the Western systems and damaged the ancient Yodha. It is still possible to reactivate the abandoned section of the ancient Yodha up to Mahilupallama if the British gates are reactivated after further research. So I have done only a limited research. I think now with this information, I suggest that engineers do some good research on this and see how this ancient system worked. And with that, without much cost, you have to, if you repair those ancient, no, not ancient, the British time gates, you can reactivate the system without even the Amunu, because Amunu is the same function is done by the British gates. So thank you. So any questions are welcome now.
Prasad,
Yes.
wouldn't it have also stopped the flooding by limiting by the overflow from the higher level? It would have stopped the flooding of Anuradhapura if there was a lot of rain.
No, I don't think the flooding was affected. For flooding, I think they built many tanks. There may have been some effect, but not this Yodha system.
But it would have overflowed whenever it went above that level to smaller tanks and maintained a constant flow.
Yes. That is correct. Some water was diverted. That is true.
When needed, when excess was there, it was diverted.
It was diverted.
So that would have stopped the flooding if there was
some control. Yes, correct. Some control. I think you go this one.
Okay, thanks for that question. I'm Architect Navaratna here. We have few in the audience as well, and some of them are connected through Zoom. I don't know whether you heard the question, what was raised through the Zoom. The question was flooding.
Yeah, the
And
question
whether-
was, due to this system that I explained, was there a reduction in flooding? To some extent, there should have been a reduction of flooding, because when the water level is high, they diverted water to those subsidiary tanks, and therefore some reduction was there.
So, thank you, Prasad, that why I sat here on the invitation of Secretary was to conduct from the flow. If there are any questions, because I think, thank you, it was a very interesting session that I might have also have questions, but I will first allow the floor to start. Yes.
Not Vascom. Yeah. Now I am talking about the first Yodha error, that is from Kalababa to Tisababa. There are certain other Yodha errors, but I am not talking about those. Only the from Kalababa to Anuradhapura one.
Yes.
Is there reference to elements in the traditional literature?
Yeah, the question is, are there any references regarding this Amunu Gilma? Yes, that is why I mentioned that Rajavaliya, it is there. That is why I started looking for, the definition of this Amunu Gilma, because it was there. But nobody was able to explain what it was. They said, we know Amuna, we know Gilma, but we don't know Amunu Gilma. So therefore, I had to do fair amount of research to find out what an Amunu Gilma was. I finally found a very familiar thing here.
Yeah, you had dropped. Yes.
You believe that the water from Kalavapi was taken to Tisavapi. The reason I came across another document says that what was taken to Kalavapi was taken to Nachadua, and from Nachadua to Tisavapi to his day.
No, that water cannot be taken from Nachadua to Tisababa, because Nachadua is on the other side of Mallathuve.
No, Nachadua is now the Mallathuve is barricaded, and Nachadua is standing on the both banks, and then there are three species from Nachadua. Two carries water to the Nuravati, one on the other end carries the water to the Tisava. So that can be.
No, I don't think this it is possible. From Nachadua.
The barricade is cross the Mallathuve.
No, it's,
So when it is barricaded, whatever rises up,
then
goes back.
then they could have barricaded Mallathuve straight away,
Yeah.
and supplied water to Anuradhapura, because Anuradhapura, you can't use the water of Mallathuve, because it is the elevation is low, and the city is at a higher elevation.
No, Nachadua is that upstream of
I know. So in that case, they could have barricaded the entire Mallathuve, like Tekama Dam, and had a massive reservoir there to raise the water level. But that is not possible. They have not taken because when the Yodha is there, they have taken water from that side.
Similar structures in Minitel and.
I have not studied. I studied only this. So it is up to others. There are a lot of researchers and a lot of opportunities to do this research.
Real like structure.
Huh? Yeah, I am sure they have used this system. Now I think Now, this system was not understood now earlier. Now, as you understand now, I think you can do a lot of research and find out how other Yodha errors have been done.
Why would the British have built sluice gates when they could have repaired? If they understood the system, they could have repaired what was there originally.
Now, the Western, even our engineers don't believe our systems. No, no, the same thing.
If they do that.
No, the Western,
If they understood the system, they would have read it.
no, they have definitely understood the system. That's why near the Amunu Gilmas, they have built the gates, right? But they didn't want to depend on our system. The Amunu Gilma made out of granite and other things. They have used their system. So that is the Western system. Now even our engineers follow the Western system. No? That what they studied. So it is the same thing.
Supanandu, can you put some light on, we have this siltation issue.
Siltation.
When we have this much of length of water, and particularly when we have these amonogilmas and then we start blocking it, these places, siltation will occur. And what is your conception, or what do you think, how they have managed it? Is it a management system from length, or what would have been the management system?
Yeah. The siltation, the cleaning is very easy because these are small tanks. The Diakalias are small tanks and the water is flowing very slowly because of the width of the Diakali. So therefore, the sedimentation starts easily and the cleaning is very, very easy. Now, the cleaning of a tank is very difficult. Now you can see if you look at the modern Yodha, the Kong Weber, what is connected to Kong Weber now, the present Yodha, you can see the mud coming from to the this Kong Weber. It's very clearly you can see that one. But I think those days the silting was very it is very easy because the sedimentations took place within the Diakalias.
So they only would have had to clean the Diakalias.
Clean the Diakalias.
Are there any other questions from the show?
As such, reference to this water transportation from Nachadhuva to Murava. They're having a trace of either a canal or waterway running from Nachadhuva to Galkulama to from Nachadhuva to Murava. Past Kalakta, but I have been in Kalakta and we have come across sort of a canal with bricks, rounded bricks, which are not natural, but nobody has done any research on that. And also, we dug a small one sort of thing in the Kalakta, I mean, and we could not retain water. There was some seepage or when you trace that line near the Talakuru Vihara in on that same stretch, you get good fresh water. And those things, so there have been some sort of a canal or some connection from Nachadhuva to Murava, and from there to Visakha.
No, Nachadhuva to Murava, there's a connection. There's no doubt about that. Even now the Mahavali water is coming that way. So that is why this irrigation, ancient irrigation system, there are a lot of opportunities to do research. Because so many things are there.
And it also appears that the Amunugilmas were used in relatively flat terrain.
Yeah.
Not undulating terrain.
No. This flat terrain. Yeah.
Yes.
The slopes you were mentioning at the beginning of the show, were those figures based on a physical measurement or just references to some?
References. Because I didn't have an opportunity. I don't have equipment. I just had a look. That's all. Because I did the desk research and then went with Professor Vitanachi because I can't go alone and he's a specialist. So I went with him and we didn't measure anything, but we checked certain things. The I level and various things we checked. Yeah. Somebody else asked another question.
Prasad, there's a question in chat.
Yes.
Yes, chat. You can check it.
There are 7 questions. Since Yodha must have cost many streams
The way.
on the way to another,
Do we see evidence?
aqueducts
As in Greece.
Uh,
I think
the question is, they are asking one Mr. A.D. Gunasekara, whether there were aqueducts like in Greece. No aqueducts were found. I don't think they have done that. They have just connected those streams to the Yodha and augmented the flow of water. Then there's another question. Thank you for the information around the technology. For the important information about that. Can you re-explain a bit about Amunu Gilma? Thanks. Now, one
another question.
gentleman is asking, can you re-explain bit about Amunu Gilma? So what do you think? Now, re-explaining, I think now I explain it enough, I think. Anyway, Amunu Gilma, I told you in brief, I can say Amunu Gilma is a weir. That is something built across a stream or a river to block the water flow. But our Amunu Gilmas sometimes had gates to control the water level. So that is the brief explanation I can give.
The similar system is adopted even in the present day irrigation canal,
Yeah.
where they block certain areas, have these gates and raise the water level so that it could be diverted into irrigation canal on the right side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm still trying to understand what the British were up to.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now you don't like.
yeah, no, that's- What was their objective in building those things? They were not trying to take water to Anuradhapuram. At that time, there was no population. What were they trying to do?
No,
Because
Now-
I find it very difficult to understand.
Yeah.
That
Right.
the British were able to understand the system, but our engineers couldn't.
no,
I find that very difficult.
I told you the first objective of this Yodha was to send water to Anuradhapura.
Right.
So now that objective is no longer there.
Yeah.
Now the second objective, wait, I'll explain. Then the second objective, what is the second objective? Giving water to the farmers, right?
Then,
They were in water to, for agriculture. Giving water to agriculture purposes. So that is what they have done. Because without raising the level, they can't use the canals.
where? The question is where?
From right through, right? I told you now you have no wait you have forgotten that all the gates are 2.5 feet above,
Yes.
right? So to reach that 2.5, you must block somewhere and raise it.
I agree with that. But question I'm asking is, when you do that, but you get the water in Arunachal.
No, the other way. When all the gates are open, water goes to Anuradhapura. When the gates are closed, you can supply water to the sub canals. Right? You have understood the other way. Yeah. 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 Hmm. Yeah. 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 Yes.
Yeah, I think you better explain those who are listening on what is the question that was asked.
Now he says during one British governor has walked the entire distance of Yodha Island.
Walked or boater?
Boat. Taken a boat trip. There was a, sorry? Yeah, right. So he says there was an interest for them to revive this Yodha Island system for agriculture. Now that main objective is now no longer there. So it is only for agriculture. So they have done that because now without Amnugilma, the villages couldn't get water. So they have, without doing a new irrigation system, they have fixed these gates and supplied water because water is already there. It's a matter of raising these levels.
There are, yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah, come here and talk. Then you get others who are on internet can come here. You have to sit here.
I would like to explain what happened to Mini Piamo. The thing is, modern engineers can't understand very well about ancient structures and ancient system. What happened to Mini Piamo?
Okay, talk to this one.
Inviting Mahaveli Authority, the group of research, we have done a research about Mini Piamuna area. So when we start this project, we went to the Mini Piamuna, present Mini Piamuna. What happened during the colonial period, the colonial engineers has very well about knowledge the ancient irrigation system. During the colonial period, the colonial engineers built new Amuna to very close to the ancient Minipe Amuna without any damage to the ancient Minipe Amuna. What they did, they selected a new site to create or build the Amuna before starting, before the where ancient Minipe Amuna, before damage, without damage to the Minipe Amuna, they selected away from some meters from the ancient Minipe Amuna without any damage. What happened very recent past, the funding by the ADB has started new project to uplift the Minipe Amuna. So what happened, the modern engineers selected the suitable place to build new Minipe Amuna. The thing is, more interesting thing is they have selected the suitable place where it is situated in the ancient Amuna. So finally what happened, they completely demolished the ancient Minipe Amuna within one night. Within one night, without any investigation from the archaeology department. So now there is no Minipe Amuna, ancient Minipe Amuna in that area. My suggestion is what happened, the colonial engineers were understanding about importance about the ancient techniques and ancient engineering techniques also. But the thing is, modern engineers can't understand the importance of ancient techniques. That is the thing, but most of the thing is any engineering faculty do not follow the importance of ancient ruins or ancient techniques. That is the basic idea.
So due to that, a lot of ancient, not only irrigation schemes, even other ancient monuments are lost. Even recently, now at Colombo Fort, we were involved in, discussing how to somehow at least part salvage the ancient monument. So because these engineers and the other planners, they planned everything without considering any monuments and without doing AIA, archaeological impact assessment. So as a result, a lot of things are being lost.
I think that is the shortcoming of the regulation. The regulation of the authorities are to be blamed because now there's the Department of Archaeology who has the powers under the English ordinance. They should have explained their, authorities, no? The engineers and architects and all the planners are planned the best way and use for the best use of the asset, right? And then if the archaeological department enforce the regulations and all preventing destruction, they wouldn't have done those things.
No, sometimes even without knowing the archaeological department, they finish everything.
As he said, it could be overnight operation.
Because they know that if the archaeological department comes to know that, there can be problems.
Yeah.
So they overnight they destroy that.
Yes, that is in the protected area. That is in the reserve, protected area under the wildlife conservation. Can't be used. Wildlife sanctuary.
Yeah. So, well, I have maybe the 10 signs are into the it's not demand. It's not demolished.
No, it's a
Protection. Under the wildlife department,
Not a barrier, not a barrier.
That's what they are places they are allowed to travel. And also there are places that we have an outside side. We give the serving of wildlife department, sometimes there are advantages as well. Because when there can be more protection, there is good departments have direct injury. Sometimes better protection. Depends on the situation.
Are there any other questions, Kavan?
So I think,
I don't see any on the chat.
okay. Thank you, Kavan. So I think we have had a very interesting session, I must tell you, because the points that you have raised can show lots of triggering of thoughts and ideas coming out. And I'm sure people will be much more watchful than now, at least this small community, those who are on the Zoom, as well as those who are gathered here, on our irrigation heritage as well. because this is something perhaps we have long neglected. And so that I think we should revive it and bring it back onto the interest of archaeology as well. Sometimes perhaps say some only say go underground and some only look at the monuments, but then what about other heritages that we will have to protect for our future generations. So with that concluding remark, I think there's a thanks, word of thanks.
I especially thank Mr. Ruan
D'Souza.
isn't it, Kavan?
Yes, it's Ruan D'Souza.
Mr. Ruan D'Souza for arranging this Zoom link, and also Kavan for coordinating all that to make a success the first Zoom meeting that we coordinated like this. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I will thank Mr. Prasad Fonseka on behalf of ICOMOS Sri Lanka. Of course, you are a member and a council member, but still it's our duty to thank you. Thank you very much for this very insightful presentation and thought-provoking say hypotheses that you built up, and finally giving certain concluding answers so that we could follow, and the young members, those who are there, or young generation, those who are there, could follow, as he said, on these footsteps and search more research onto our irrigation system. So thank you everybody for visiting and be with us on Zoom as well as physically. And thank you all on behalf of ICOMOS Sri Lanka. And we have a small, at the end of this session, we have a small tea, say ready for you to consume, and just have outside discussions as well. Thank you very much, everybody, and good night.